Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and having learnt a few things, quite a few things, from and through human interactions, and having pursued my master's in business administration and clinical psychology, I today wish to talk about attachments, or rather the contrast of ideas with regards to the information that we get, that gets shared, and that gets interpersonalized and even personalized, or rather intrapersonalized, gives us two extreme versions about thinking and talking and understanding about attachments. And in a way, in my understanding, that's not really very helpful. The extreme polarities of things, the extreme polarities about understanding things, in my understanding, leaves little scope for the area, for the space that exists between these two extreme polarities. So there's one set of thought or thoughts associated in similar ways that says that attachment is the root cause of all suffering. And in fact, in one of the videos which I'll be sharing along with this video in the links below, I heard the megastar Shah Rukh Khan say, and I'm paraphrasing here, that I'm scared of getting attached to people because I believe that at the end of everything they finally leave. Or they die and pass away. And that causes me a lot of pain and hurt, which is why I'm scared of getting attached. And many a times it gets interpreted that way, it gets connected that way, that I don't connect with people very easily, or I don't attach to people very easily. Because from my own personal experience, my own personal reality, experienced personal reality, I get an understanding that if I do attach to people, they don't show up. That if I do attach with people, they disappoint me. That if I do attach with people, they leave me. And thereby, invariably, in some way or the other, they hurt me. And it is because of not wanting to experience this hurt, which again is a very human thing. Rather, it's a very organic thing that I don't want to experience hurt. Thereby, I'll not attach. And to a degree, it can again be stretched to a few other things. I don't get attached to places. Places where I've built up certain memories, of course, which involves people. I don't get attached to organizations. Of course, that also involves people. I don't get attached to my things, to my house, to my cars. And it can have a multitude of other factors to it. And we can keep adding to our list. I don't get attached to dash 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 dash. Fill in the blanks. Or I'm afraid of getting attached to dash 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 because dash 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 dash. And we can take up this exercise to fill up these blanks for ourselves. And I'm quite sure that many of us will have a multitude of things to fill over there. And yet, weirdly, on the other hand, we do send messages, we do send emails with attachments. Because it is these attachments that gives us the details and the nuances of whatever we wish to communicate, of whatever we wish to share in order to connect, which is where paradoxically we also have something called as the attachment theory in psychology. And when I say psychology, I'm talking about our emotions, our intelligence, IQ, our mental health, our relational health, our social health, our personal health, our personal well-being, and our interpersonal well-being, which of course happens through connections within connections with other human beings, with other creatures. So on one hand, we have this message wherein it says that attachment is the root cause of all suffering. And on the other hand, there's also this concept, there's also this understanding that attachment is bonding. Attachment is connection. And it's our inability to connect, not just with others, but in ourselves as well, that causes distress, that causes ill-being rather than well-being. Because it is through these connections that we find a sense of fulfillment and meaning in our life, that we find a sense of feeling belonged, that we find a sense of building trust, that we find a sense of safety and security, which is essential for every living organism, not just humans. And given psychology, given our emotional, mental, physical, relational and social well-being, interpersonal well-being, we essentially today have 4 kinds of attachment styles. The way we connect with people, the way we connect with ourselves, the way we trust others and the way we do not trust others, the way we do trust others and ourselves, the way in which we can collaborate with others and the way in which we do not collaborate with others, the ways in which we can be open and vulnerable with others and the way in which we protect and guard ourselves, the ways in which we build walls around ourselves to psychologically help us feel safe and secure, the ways in which we love, the ways in which we give and receive love, the ways in which we feel belonged, the ways in which we are able to confide in somebody else, to be able to build trust with them, all falls under the category of attachment styles. And here's a glimpse of these 4 attachment styles: secure attachment, avoidant attachment, anxious attachment, and disorganized or avoidant anxious attachment. And all of these 4 styles develop during our initial formative foundation years, which is essentially our childhood. They essentially develop within the first 2 years of our lives. Now, of course, they are not hard and rigid. They are not solid spaces wherein we don't move from one to the other. But of course, we lean more towards one or the other. And like it said that change is the only constant, these attachment styles can also be changed. And in case we need to change them because they are not functioning for us as of today, they are not helping us as of today, the way they helped us in the past, the way they were formed in the past, given those experiences, given our personal reality in keeping with our interpersonal relationships. We firstly need to become aware of our own attachment styles, the way we attach and connect with people, or the way we feel afraid of attaching and connecting with people. And not just that, but after actually coming to know about our attachment styles, we need to be doing the work. We need to be taking certain little steps in order to become more securely attached, in case that is our aspiration and that is our desire. So in a way, we have these 2 paradoxes wherein they say that attachment is the root of all suffering, or is the root cause of all suffering. And yet, on the other hand, attachment is the way we connect and bond. Attachment is the way in which we feel safe and secure, or we feel threatened and insecure. And in a way, we are playing out our reality. We are experiencing our reality between these 2 paradoxical beliefs, between these 2 paradoxical informations. And like I said, in my understanding, life just doesn't happen in 2 contrasts. The contrasts are necessary to give us a picture of what the contrasts look like. But most of the life happens, the experience of life happens in between the 2 extreme contrasts. It's in the space between the black and the white. It's in the large space between the two extreme polarities. And so in my understanding, when they talk about attachment as being the root cause of all suffering, they're not essentially talking about attachment from human beings, because we are social creatures. We need bonding and connection to be able to feel safe and secure. Not just in order to survive, but even for our well-being, for our physical and psychological health, for our physical and emotional health, for our physical, tangible and intangible health, for our social health, for our relationship health, for the well-being of ourselves, both on personal and interpersonal spaces, a reality which we cannot deny and defy. And it is only when we are not in connection to that reality, it is only when we deny that reality, it is only implying that we are disconnected from that reality, do we cause and create and experience more suffering. So in my understanding, when it's said that attachment is the root cause of all suffering, they are not talking about detaching from the reality, which is the aspect of us being a social, interpersonal, personal creature, biopsychosocial creature. But rather, they are talking about us not attaching to the idea of ourselves, of us not rigidly attaching to our own behaviors and thereby our belief systems, or the other way around as well. To us not attaching ourselves with the ideas of ourselves that either has been given down to us, either has been labeled onto us, or that we have labeled on ourselves. So an example of that can be that I am a lazy person. Now getting attached to that label, or getting attached to that idea that I am a lazy person, and thereby XYZ things happen, dash 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 happens. Not getting attached to the idea that I'm an obedient, complacent, non-defined person, because in a way that's a behavior that's playing out that we have attached with the idea and the identity of ourselves, which is based on a belief system that we might not actually be aware about. Not getting attached to the idea that I am a very caring person, or that I am not at all a caring person, again two extremes, again two contrasts, which in my understanding doesn't really help us a lot. They help us to a degree wherein they help us categorize the two polarities. But like I said, that life happens between the two polarities, between the two polar extremes of taking birth and even dying. And when we only talk about the extremes, we are not looking at the space in between, which gives us time to process, which gives us time to reflect, which gives us space to reflect, to understand the nuances of all of these things. So with this video, I'll also be attaching the links to attachment quiz, the links to understanding how we connect or do not connect, and of course everything in between, with ourselves and with others. The way we trust and do not trust, and everything in between, others and ourselves. The way we communicate in order to connect with others and with ourselves. And since in my understanding, the reality of us is that we are social creatures, of course having an individual perspective, we need to find a middle ground to be able to grasp the idea of attachment. Let's try and do that for ourselves. Try and take the attachment quiz if possible, which I'll be linking down with this video, which I'll be attaching with this video, to get to know yourself a little better, to get to developing a more secure style of attaching with yourselves and with others, in case that's what you want and desire to do. Let's try and do that for ourselves, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share and subscribe.